Now there's one thing that I want to address that is pretty much a universal truth of wig wear, and people will comment on this and send me questions about it all the time, and they ask me, hey Heather, why do my long wigs tangle so much? What can I do to prevent them from tangling? Well, here's the deal. Long wigs will always tangle. There is not anything you can do to prevent them from tangling. It's just the nature of longer wigs. They have damage. There are two primary kinds of damage that you can do to a long wig. One is friction damage, and that happens when the hair rubs up against your clothing, rubs up against your shoulders, rubs up against the back of your seat in your car, and it just happens throughout the day. What that does is it creates static, and the static causes tangling. So this is also true of human hair, and this is also true of your biohair. It's just a little bit more prevalent in synthetic hair because it doesn't have the same consistency or the same moisture level that would protect it from going once that static sets in. So if you want to minimize that kind of damage, you really should use anti-static product. So the other kind of damage that you'll get is from styling. As I've mentioned previously in other videos, the synthetic fiber used in all of the brands that make monocrylic fiber, it is canacolon in the high-end synthetic wigs, but the issue is that it's still made of petroleum-based products. So it's a lot like when you're curling a ribbon for somebody's birthday present, and when you pull on the ribbon, it springs back, but when it springs back, it's curled and kind of kinked up. Well, that's what happens when you comb too vigorously, which is why I advocate, gentle combing at the bottom, never from the top down, and that, you want to be very careful how frequently you're combing, because just like, that friction damage builds up over time and makes the hair kink up, over-combing it or combing too vigorously or too aggressively will also cause the hair to bunch up. Synthetic fiber does not get split ends like human hair does. Instead, it kinks up and feels a little bit like a Brillo pad at the bottoms. So when you get them out of the box, they look luscious, delicious, and tantalizing, just like this Tribeca Spring. And all long synthetic wigs feel great when you get them out of the box, usually. They feel fabulous. Then after you wash them or wear them a couple times, they start to go, sideways. So heed my warning. If you like the long wigs, you're in for a cycle of replacement that is a little bit more frequent than people who wear wigs that go above the shoulders. Just be aware of that. It's a natural thing that's going to happen because you're wearing the longer styles. But you can minimize how frequently you have to replace your wigs by just being very gentle with them. And so as a pleasant surprise, or something that may not come as a surprise for anybody who watches my videos regularly, these wigs with a little bit of a curl at the bottom don't need to be combed as frequently, nor do they need to be styled as regularly, because they've already got that built-in kind of perm. So the lovely thing about that is you can just futz with them with your fingers, and that's usually enough to keep them looking nice and fresh. So that way you can maintain the life of them a little bit longer. So if you're gonna go long, try going long and curly as opposed to long and straight. That's just my personal opinion. I think they require a little bit less fussing, and because of that, they tend to last a little longer.